Hey there gamers, and welcome to another weekly Dreamlight Valley breakdown. In today's video, we'll be sharing my results from the annual Dreamsnap Celebration, before discussing an interesting new Dreamsnap utility involving Touch of Magic items. Following that, we'll take a look at this week's brand new Dreamsnap challenge, before providing a full review and showcase of this week's premium shop lineup. Before we get started, I'd like to mention that I'm a small full-time content creator, so every like on this video can make a tremendous difference for me. Consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley and gaming content. If you would like to catch more of my content, you can find me live on Twitch Monday through Friday. Links to both my Twitch channel and Discord server can be found in the video description down below. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Hey there gamers, and welcome back. I hope you have all enjoyed the annual Dreamsnap Celebration. Now, I've been really excited to share this submission with YouTube, so I can't wait to take a look at how it did and reveal it to you guys. But after that, I'm actually going to be showing a very interesting trick involving Touch of Magic items. And I know what you're thinking, Senpai, you can't use Touch of Magic in Dreamsnaps. And while that is true, there is a nice little utility. Now, if you tune into my streams, I've already shown this trick several times, and there are probably other creators that have mentioned this or done videos on it. But if you are unaware of what I'm referring to, stick around. After we talk about my Dreamsnap, I'm going to show you exactly how this little technique works, and it is very, very useful. So with that, let's go ahead and check my mail and see how we did on the Dreamsnaps annual celebration. Alright, and here we are. We got a score of 94.05 and a rank of 449. I am really honored and very happy that this got in the top 500 because I have seen some absolutely stunning submissions for this challenge. And I'm not surprised because, this is the annual Dreamsnap Celebration. So if you're a big fan of Dreamsnaps like me, of course you put a lot of love and care into your submission, and there's just no shortage of outstanding submissions for this particular challenge. I definitely put a lot of work into mine, and there were a lot of headaches, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at my submission. Okay, and here it is. This is one of my all-time favorite submissions that I've ever put out. I'm just such a big fan of Dreamsnaps, and I can't believe I've been doing the challenges for a year now, but being given the opportunity to make a Dreamsnap celebration, I was just so eager to jump at this chance and make something memorable. Now, this was a decor challenge, so let me pick apart the scene for you guys. We'll start with the foreground and we'll work our way back, and then I'll show you guys the neat little trick I used in this submission. Starting off with the immediate foreground, you've probably noticed the birthday cakes, and I just felt like they were really relevant for this challenge because it is the birthday of Dreamsnaps, and I love the warm glow of the candles. Aside from that, you probably noticed Mushu and Figaro here. I thought this was just the cutest thing in the foreground, and even my avatar looks like she's really enjoying that moment. Mushu, Figaro, and my avatar are gathered here on the Centennial rug, and I felt like that was another good addition because it plays off of anniversaries. We have 3 more characters in the foreground here, including Simba, Pua, who is eyeing the food on the table, and Mike Wazowski. And if you're wondering how they're so perfectly placed without items around them, well, that's what we're going to be discussing soon. Moving into the midground, you can see our Dreamsnap trophies and a wide range of other characters. There's also a large display of desserts. Now, I know I don't get tags on desserts or anything, but I still wanted to place a lot of desserts on the table here, or should I say tables. So we have ice cream, cupcakes, cheesecake, popcorn, banana splits, you name it. As far as the characters in the midground, we have Gaston, Mother Gothel, Ariel, Anna, Donald, Daisy, and Elsa. A little bit further back, since they were too large to fit in the midground, you'll find Sully and Beast. Now, I would have loved to use more villagers than this, but it was really hard because a lot of them were sleeping or they would be at Scrooge's shop, so it was just challenging. I really wish I would have gotten Mickey or maybe Vanellope since she brought Dreamsnaps to the valley. That would have been really nice. but it just wasn't in the cards. I brought literally everyone I could into this photo. Now behind all the characters, you're gonna notice that big DJ booth rig, a lot of balloon arches, some premium castles, and Belle and Beast castle. I also have the Adventurers Out There balloon basket balloons kind of popping up behind the castles to give it more of a party atmosphere. And I use the Toy Story toy block columns to get these 2024 markings on the left and right hand side. Sadly, I won't be able to do this for next year because you can't make a 2025 with these blocks. You can make a 2026, but no 2025. There's no 5 on them. At least not that you can turn to that angle. Of course, the challenge description also mentioned using fireworks, so I did have some on the left and right hand side, and I had to run and trigger them and then run back into position and line up my photo and get the filter and the Figaro pose. It took a lot of tries, but I finally got a really good one, and I was so happy with how this turned out. Now, one last thing, you cannot actually see him at all, but Maui is way in the foreground. He's actually, my camera's looking through him, and that's how I'm getting some of these sparkles. Most of the sparkles are coming from the fireworks, but some of the bigger ones that you can see like on the top right and a little bit below that, those are actually from Maui. So yeah, I was just so happy with how this turned out, and I'm really glad it got a great rank. If you came across this photo and you liked it enough to vote for it, thank you so much, and I hope you've enjoyed the past year of Dreamsnaps. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about this fun little trick. And it's going to reveal how I managed to trap Simba, Mushu, and Mike Wazowski without cluttering the foreground with items placed to trap them. Well, actually I did have items placed to trap them, but I was able to make them invisible. Alright, so I've returned to the location where I shot this Dreamsnap. Now, of course, I couldn't get the same exact villagers for the front here. We replaced Mike with Mulan, we replaced Simba with Scar, and we do still have Mushu down there next to Figaro. Now, as you can tell, they are actually trapped, even though there were no items trapping them in the Dreamsnap Submission. And the way I did this is with Touch of Magic items. Now, Touch of Magic items cannot appear in Dreamsnaps. So there is a toggle, which you will see over here on the right-hand side of the screen. This toggle will make them disappear. Now, it is important to keep in mind, once you activate that toggle, they don't just turn invisible, they vanish. So the characters will be able to walk away at that point. So you have to be fast if you want to use this trick. Basically, what you can do is you can trap your villagers with Touch of Magic items, and then you can hit right trigger to activate the toggle and snap your photo in that exact instant. So, essentially the way this works is you just wait patiently for them all to be doing something that is, fitting, either looking towards the camera or doing an animation, or you wait until Pua or the Zero Fox walks by, whatever you want. But just to give a demonstration here, I am going to snap a little photo as soon as Mulan looks back. Well, she looked away. Give me a second here. Yeah, it's all about waiting for the villagers to do what you want them to do. And there we go, now snap the photo. And boom, just like that, we have Mulan, Scar, Mushu. They're all standing around right where I want them to be, but there's not a bunch of rocks around them or items blocking them in. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you may already know about this trick. Maybe you've seen another creator cover it. I don't know if any have. I know I've been using this for my last several Dreamsnaps ever since this update gave us the option to hide Touch of Magic items. I've been utilizing this when and where I could. I haven't used it for all of my submissions, but I have used it for a few. And I've shared this little tip or trick on my Twitch stream tons of times, and every single time people get so excited about it when it's their first time hearing about it. So I figured I would put it on YouTube in the hopes that any of you guys that watch me on here and don't watch me on Twitch would have a chance to see this little trick, and maybe it can help you with your Dreamsnaps. Maybe it can help you do something new or exciting. Now, I will point out, once I back out from this photo, let me save it, it's a cute photo. Once I back out, they will be gone, right? So Mulan walked right out of there. Scar stayed because he's actually hanging out with me, so he stayed. Mushu and Mulan just walked right away. But yeah, that's how the trick works. You can use any Touch of Magic item that you can't walk through. Now, I would say one of the best Touch of Magic items to use for this is going to be Daisy's Touch of Magic trophy. And the reason this is such a good item is because it's not going to limit your visibility too much to see like what's going on in the area when you want to toggle them off, and it is a 1 square item. So these tables are also quite nice. You know, they're a 4 square item. You can trap villagers pretty good with them, but I definitely recommend getting your hands on these because they're just way more flexible. You can, you know, arrange them in any kind of way you want, whereas the 4x4, it's just going to take up a lot more room, and it might limit your decorations around the area if you do want to decorate in this area. But again, you can use any touch of magic item that you can't walk through. So anything you can't walk through, the villagers can't walk through unless you toggle it off. Now, as far as these touch of magic trophies, it is very important for me to also mention these are expensive from Daisy Shop. These are 500 Daisy coins. So getting a bunch of these is a little bit of a headache, but if you build just the right kind of daisy scene, you can have every tag she asks for all lined up here. And then anytime you walk in here to do your challenge, you don't have to build, you don't have to change anything. You can just talk to Daisy and claim your 100 coins every day with no more work. So if I go up to Daisy right now and I say, what's the challenge today? And she says coats, foliage, bedroom, cute, simple, and familiar. All I have to do is say, did I complete the challenge? And she says, you completed the challenge. Here's your 100 coins. Now, if you want to build a daisy scene like this, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because pretty soon I'm going to be dropping a tutorial on exactly how to do this. It is a complicated process and it is a headache. It is going to take a good bit of work, and you're going to need to utilize the Dreamlight wiki website so you can see exactly what tags you're adding. You're going to need to make a checklist. It's a lot, but once you do it, you never have to worry about doing the daisy scenes again. So I definitely recommend it. But make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's take a look at this week's brand new Dreamsnap challenge. Okay, and here we are. I was thinking we're gonna get a Mulan-themed decor challenge, but maybe that'll come later. This challenge is called Valley Views. It is a decor challenge that states, capture the spectacular beauty of your valley. Whether stunning sunset, dazzling desert, or frosted mountain, this challenge is about enjoying the view. All right, this is my kind of challenge. I love the way this sounds. Dreamlight Valley just is one of the most beautiful life sims on the market, so whenever a challenge gives me an opportunity to make a beautiful or stunning scene, it's always something I can approach with excitement, so I'm just ready to dive into this one, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Now, our mandatory tags this week are going to be 4 outdoors and 6 wondrous. Our bonus tags are going to be elegant and strong. So yeah, very interesting. Love the way this looks. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna do something in my valley or do something on Eternity Isle. I'm glad that the description did mention a dazzling desert, so that's kind of insinuating, yeah, do it in either place, because we don't have a desert in the valley, but we do have one on Eternity Isle. Let me know your thoughts about this challenge in the comments below, and with that, let's take a look at this week's premium shop lineup. And here it is, you guys, it's finally here. The Wandering Moon Premium House. This is the house I have been waiting for. I figured it was gonna come this week because we've got all the other premium houses, and it's so funny because the one I wanted the most, of course, was the last one to arrive, but just look at this thing. I mean, it is gorgeous. You have all these red hanging lanterns on this like top piece here and down here at the base. I love the mossy like concrete at the bottom here. The wood carvings, I mean, this just looks so good. And it is our second premium house in a week that comes in at only 3,000 moonstones. I can't wait to do the showcase and take a look at exactly how this thing stands out at night and how much space it takes up. It does look a bit smaller than the premium house we got last week. Now, also finally making an appearance this week are the inspired Chinese boats, and they're only 1,200 moonstones. So this is an item I highly recommend picking up. Now, maybe you're like, oh, Senpai, they're small. I don't care. We got the one from the STARPATH. That's more than enough for me. But hear me out. We don't have a lot of water decor options. We really don't. That's something Dreamlight Valley is severely lacking. So getting 3 new small water decor options, that's a big deal to me, and only at 1,200, so I think that's a fair price, and I'm definitely going to be picking this up. It's also worth mentioning, in case you guys don't know, these little boats, They have all 4 of this week's Dreamsnap theme tags. They have both required and both bonus tags. So I definitely recommend picking these up if you can, because utilizing the one from the STARPATH and then utilizing these 3 in addition to that is just going to help elevate your usage of high value items a bit more. Now, surprisingly, those are the only 2 new items in the shop this week, which, like I always say, I am not upset about, because I want to be able to save moonstones. You know, even doing well in Dreamsnaps, I'm always just burning through my moonstones trying to pick up everything for these showcases. So throughout the Daisy update, we had like 4 new items every single week. But in the Mulan update so far, we've had a few weeks where we only had 2 new items. I think maybe just 2 at this point, but that's a really nice thing to see because it's allowing us to save up a bit more, and I feel like it's keeping the quality of the premium items a bit higher. During the Daisy update, there were some items that came to the premium shop that just felt really rushed and not worth it, and I'd rather them release less items with higher quality rather than just shove as many things into the store as possible. Now, returning this week, we do have the Fiery Butterfly Wings. I reviewed those in another video. They are quite nice. We have the Red Panda onesie coming back. The V8 Cafe House, review that as well, very nice. And the Pixar Pal Around back again. That's kind of a surprise. We also have the Platinum Mickey Dream Style and the Cars Racing set. However, there are no discounts this week. So, you know, the last few weeks we've had a 20% off item in the shop, or a couple of them, so I guess they're not wanting to run discounts on any of these this week. Oh well. And that's okay, because if you buy everything new in the shop this week, it's only going to cost you 4,200 moonstones. Not bad. So with all that out of the way, let's pick up this Wandering Moon house, and let's pick up these inspired Chinese boats, and let's take a look at them in this week's premium shop showcase. Alright, so let's start things off with the Wandering Moon Premium House, and I'm gonna go ahead and admit right now, I was wrong. This thing is not smaller than the houses we got last week. I think it's just about the same size. Very, very good size, but it is absolutely stunning, just as I thought it would be in the leaks. I cannot wait to get a closer look at this thing, but yeah, here we go. The roofing, lots of good, mossy wear and tear. That looks great. Down here, you kind of see the same thing on the base and even on the walls. And these red lanterns, I'm really stoked to see these at night. Let's come down here and take a look at the front door. Oh wow, it's got like a glass door. You could see inside the hallway there. That's really nice. I love the woodwork on the top as well, and these little hexagons on the front. I think that's a hex, yeah. I'm not seeing any other entryways, which is fine. I think just that one door is more than enough. And yeah, let's go ahead and switch to nighttime and see how we're looking here. Oh my goodness, will you guys just look at that? This is beautiful. I think the red lanterns on this look a lot better than the red lanterns we have here. I'm not a big fan of like the glow that comes off of them. It just feels kind of artificial because it doesn't cast any like shadows. I like this warmer glow that doesn't have like an orb of light around it. It just kind of feels like the light is isolated inside that lantern, and I feel like it just seems a lot more natural. So I do really, really love the way this thing looks at night. I mean, this is one of the most outstanding premium houses we've ever gotten as far as a nighttime aesthetic. At least that's my opinion. You don't have to agree. I mean, I've just been hyped for this thing ever since it was initially teased or spoiled, so to say. But yeah, I'm just very, very excited about the way this looks. The windows themselves too, like these hexagons with these little wooden patterns on them, look really good. I love these bigger, broad windows here. Now the front door, let me take a quick look at that because I know we could see inside before. Okay, yeah, if you pivot the angle here, you can still see that hallway, and it looks like the light inside is coming through like a few feet away from the door, which is really, really neat. It kind of gives it a little bit more dimension as you run by. That's awesome. That's awesome to see. I hope we see more like that in the future. Now, I know last week we had like a special interior, and the premium house last week, I didn't mention it did not have any extra rooms. I think that was a mistake. I don't think they meant to do that. I think they just didn't add the doors, and we can't add doors ourselves because they added the walls and the pillars, but or maybe they meant for it to have one room. But this one does have all 4 rooms, just in case you were wondering, and no special interior. You're gonna have to do that yourself. But yeah, overall, this is just an absolutely stunning premium house coming in at only 3,000 moonstones. I highly recommend it, especially if you're like me and you're a big fan of the Eastern aesthetic. Then you got to get your hands on this one. I think this is the best premium house we've had this entire update. Now with that out of the way, let's take a look at these junk boats. Alright, so to start things off, I have the original STARPATH junk boat variant here. I mean, it does look good by itself. Now keep in mind, these new junk boats are just reskins, just different colors of the same item. So it's going to be able to get placed in the same way. An interesting thing with these is you can put them right up against one another, as you can see here with like no gap. I mean, you can also rotate them and place them in a lot of different ways if you want to. And like I mentioned when I did my STARPATH review, this little item is just jam-packed with details, surprisingly. For such a small item, it's got a ton of good detail. Now, as far as the other versions, we're going to go over to this one here, and I love this golden, like, sort of sunset vibe that these have. Now, this is the golden junk boat, and I really like that they went with these, like, teal kind of rivets through the little sail fans that they have here. The red string looks really nice, and again, they are just really loaded with detail. Just like the other one, they can be placed pretty much right on top of each other, or you can place them with some spacing. Now, this is the red junk boat, definitely living up to its name. It's got that very, very bright red sail on the top. You have this little red roof, and these blue stripes along the side as well to give it a little bit of a contrast. Comparatively, though, I do have to say the golden one looks so much better. I mean, it has a lot more detail in the sail. And finally, we have the blue junk boat. Now, this one does pack some extra detail into the sail, which I really like to see. We have this kind of like scale or cloud pattern, and the blue starts with a lighter blue and then fades into a darker blue. The base of the boats here are loaded with like this teal and some dark blue on the roof here. So yeah, I think this one also looks really good. Out of all three of the ones we got from this premium shop debut, I would have to say the red is probably the least impressive. It's still a great little item, and I'm glad we got one in red. I do wish the sail had a little bit more design, and the best is definitely going to be this golden one. I mean, my goodness, that thing looks wonderful. But I think, you know, what's really going to shine with these is just placing them together, because they're going to give you a very nice mix of colors, and it's just, you know, it's not going to feel forced like when we just had the one from the STARPATH. If you place those everywhere, it just doesn't really feel right, because all the boats are like identical. It doesn't add much to a scene, but it's the diversity here that is going to really make these items special. Just having all of these different colors kind of spread throughout your waterways, I think is going to add a lot to a biome build, or we're maybe offshore in Dazzle Beach. So yeah, all things to consider here. I just think it's so cool. I'm so excited to have more water decor, and I just could not love these more if I tried. So there you have it. Let's hop over to Scrooge's shop, and we're going to take a look at how much it costs to get additionals of these boats. Now, if you're going to want to purchase more of these junk boats, they're going to cost you 4,000 star coins a piece from Scrooge. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually a little bit surprised by this, because the original junk boat that we got from the STARPATH is only 3,200. I'm not sure why the devs jacked the price up on these by 800 star coins, but, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Once you have pumpkins, you pretty much have an infinite money printer. Alright, my friends, now that we've covered some fun Dreamsnap tips and my results and the premium shop, it looks like my work here is done today. At least until I go live on Twitch in a little bit. But as far as this video goes, we're gonna wrap it up. If you found today's video helpful, informative, or simply entertaining, do me a very big favor and press that like button. Consider subscribing for more Disney Dreamlight Valley and gaming content. Like we mentioned earlier, I have a fun little Daisy's shop guide coming out soon that you might find very, very rewarding. If you don't want to wait until that video and you want to ask me about it on stream, you can find a link to my Twitch and Discord server in the video description down below. As always, thank you so much for your time today, and good luck in your Dreamsnaps challenges.